All right, so let's talk about a mistake that cost me $30,000. EK, that's real. I'm not joking with y'all. $30,000, 6 months contract, 5,000 a month. After Top Chef, I hired a publicist. I thought that's what most successful chefs did. You get on TV, you hire a PR firm, they keep the hype alive. I mean, right? Like that's what I was just under the assumption. There was nobody telling me anything else. Here's the thing. That's wrong. Do not make that mistake, because 30 grand later, I had a few glossy magazine mentions. I had some podcast interviews, made it on one interview for a TV show, and I got a lot of ego strokes. But my bank account didn't grow. And that's when I really learned one of the greatest lessons. Publicity without a plan doesn't pay. So here's what I want to focus on. I was chasing momentum, and I thought that visibility meant money. My phone was blowing up and everybody wanted interviews, and I figured the publicist could take me to the next level. Now, what I didn't realize is that PR doesn't create revenue. It just creates awareness. And awareness without infrastructure is like pouring water into a colander. It's just going to strain out, because I didn't have an email list. I didn't have true product that I understood, that I knew how to sell. I didn't even have a way for people to buy anything from me directly. So all that attention that I was out there getting, all that awareness, it went nowhere. Now, after the press kind of slowed down and my contract was up, I started asking myself, what if I built something that actually converts this attention? That's when I started learning about my systems, my offers, my brand ownership. I stopped outsourcing my voice and I started building my own platforms. I got my website together. I got my newsletter together. I started really focusing on my social content, at telling my story and not the one that someone else thought was marketable. Because once I owned my story, I was finally able to monetize that story. And that's the difference between someone doing it for you versus you doing it for yourself. Now, the first dollar that I made wasn't from another TV gig. It was actually from teaching. I created small experiences around my brand. I started doing private dinners that told the four corner story, which was true to who I am and where I grew up. I did branded collabs with local farmers, distillers. I started doing speaking engagements about leadership and mental health in the kitchens. And then I built the Restaurant Pre-Shift, a platform that helps other chefs do the same exact thing. That's when this clicked. My voice was actually the product. Now, every booking, every collaboration, every consult call, they all started to stack. And within 6 months, I'd actually made that 30,000 back. And then I built something that still pays me today. So here's the thing. If you're thinking about hiring a publicist, I want you to ask yourself this first. What happens after the exposure? Do you have an offer, a system, or a way to capture the audience that they bring you? Because if not, you're paying for applause. You're not paying for growth. Publicists can amplify a message, but you have to build the machine that turns the attention into income. And I had to learn that the hard way. So when the opportunities started to come my way, I put them through a filter, and I ended up asking myself this one question. Can this lead to recurring income? If it doesn't build my business, it doesn't build my brand, and it doesn't build my community, honestly, it's not worth it. That's the CEO mindset that I'm teaching inside these lessons. That's what we do in the Restaurant Pre-Shift. So yeah, I spent 30,000 trying to look successful, but by building systems, product, and purpose, I made it all back and then some. If you're ready to stop chasing exposure and start building infrastructure, come learn how inside the Restaurant Pre-Shift. You deserve more than the headline. You deserve more than the 15 minutes. You deserve a strategy. Talk later.